I want you to show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you.
Hey everybody, it's me, Mann, and it is time for another Lifestrology class. Now, last week we spoke about the sign of Scorpio. We talked about the planets Mars and Pluto, as well as the 8th house. Now, this week we're going to talk about the sign of Sagittarius, as well as the planet Jupiter and the 9th house. So let's get into it. Sagittarius, their keywords are I see. They are the birth dates between November 22nd through December 21st. Their element is fire. Their duality is masculine, and their quadruplicity is mutable. They're ruled by Jupiter, of course. And the parts of the body that are ruled are the liver, the hips, and the thighs. Sagittarian natives, they need a lot of outdoor exercise in order to stay healthy. They have a sensitive liver and are susceptible to overuse of alcohol and to hepatitis. Their polarity is Gemini. Sagittarius is the sign of the philosopher. They are into philosophy, higher learning, and broad concepts. The Sagittarius natives are happiest discovering new ideas, exploring distant places, and not getting tied down with personal commitments. Sagittarians seek truth and knowledge. They need the freedom to explore all philosophies, societal laws, foreign lands, and their culture. So if you know a Sagittarius, you know that they are philosophers. Just by nature, they're philosophers, and they like to explore. They like to travel. I have a friend that is a Sagittarius, and she has been literally everywhere. I mean, there's not too many places that she has been. She loves to travel. Her and her husband are all over the globe, and it's fascinating to actually see. Now, of course, they're ruled by Jupiter, the planet of fortune. Sagittarians appear to breeze through life. In astrology, Sagittarius symbolizes the search for wisdom. This is the sign of the philosopher and the explorer. Sagittarians are progressive, restless in spirit, eager to get on with the business of living. They are free, adventurous spirits who thrive on new ideas and constant change of scenery. Now, Sagittarians, they are the nicest friends. If you know, like, they will do all favors, anything that you need, they are there. Like, they are just there for you. And it's never like any like strings attached to whatever it is that they do for you. And I think that the reason why they don't, put strings or any type of obligatory reactions or actions upon you is because they don't want that themselves. These are people who like to be free. So again, Sagittarians are the nicest friend of the zodiac. They are kind, open-hearted, jovial, completely free of malice. They are always doing favors for others. Their way of helping doesn't put recipients under heavy obligations. No strings is their motto. Sagittarius' most enduring trait is their sense of humor. They are high-spirited and congenial. They're gifted conversationalists, a wonderful storyteller, and a born entertainer. Writing, publishing, TV, communications are enterprises in which there are many Sagittarius. These Jupiter-ruled people are very versatile. They are straightforward and honest. Their frankness makes it easy to deal with because, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out what it is that they're saying, because they're very truthful in what they say. Some people will say almost to a fault, but there's never a fault in telling the truth. Well, I don't think so. This makes Sagittarius among the most likable people in the zodiac. What they say is what they mean. People can trust what a Sagittarian tells them. Their candid remarks are not meant to hurt. They spring from a desire to tell the truth. With the sign of Sagittarius, luck seems to always go hand in hand with the Sagittarius, and we'll get into a little bit of why that is. But they seem to always be in the right place at the right time. They have the gift of providence. Luck protects them. In work, friendship, career, and money, doors just open for them right at the moment that they need them to. Sagittarians, they love to get moving. They revel in the sheer joy of motion, whether it's physical or metaphorical. People are drawn to their idealism and gregarious way of bringing others along with them. Their attitude gives hope to others by making the impossible seem possible, even when everyone else is ready to give up in despair. Now, I told you I have a couple friends that are Sagittarius, but one friend in particular, she is the reason why I started writing books. I used to write on Facebook poems and poetry or whatever, and then she told me, well, why are you putting this on Facebook? You really should get a blog. This was kind of before people were really into like blogging. And so I did everything that she would tell me to do, and every time that she would tell me to do something, it was very successful at what it was that I was doing. So I ended up doing a blog, I ended up writing books, and it was just amazing. It was just amazing. They make things seem, what we believe is the impossible, they make those things seem easy and that it's possible to do. You know, once I got started, yeah, it was, but you know, still, when you're thinking about these things, you're like, oh no, that's a lot to do. But the way that it was just broken down, it's like, you could do that. That's possible. And it was. So next we are going to talk about the planet Jupiter. Now, everybody pretty much, if you know anything about Jupiter, you know it's the planet of benefactor. It gives us, you know, great abundance of energy, of whatever it is that we are seeking. It gives us, it's like the planet of gifts. So, Jupiter is the king of the gods. It is the energy, it brings the energy of generosity. It's about how we expand. It rules Sagittarius, and the parts of the body that it rules is the liver and the pituitary gland. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's where the sky is the limit. Now with Jupiter, it's the largest of all the planets, is the Lord of Light, the Emperor, the Judge, and the teacher of all that it is. Jupiter has always been identified with the idea of expansiveness and abundance. Jupiter brings joy to life. It rules over knowledge, higher learning, breadth of vision, and honesty. The knowledge that Jupiter imparts is on a philosophical level, which makes sense because they rule Sagittarius, who are the great philosophers. So, it rules over knowledge of higher learning, breadth of vision, and honesty. The knowledge that Jupiter imparts is on a philosophical level, as opposed to the day-to-day cleverness that Mercury offers. Now, when we're looking at Jupiter, by it being the sign, or the planet opposite of Mercury, Mercury kind of gives intellect from a different perspective, is basically what I'm saying. Knowledge and positive thinking are the supplies in Jupiter's backpack. In astrology, the planet Jupiter is known as the greater fortune, and Venus is the lesser fortune. Both of those are fortune planets. Now, Jupiter's kingdom is luck, health and happiness, wealth and worldly goods, power and high position. It influence bestows on us the willingness to take part of life, to gather new experiences. The position of Jupiter in your birth chart can also indicate where your fortunate opportunities are to be found. This benevolent planet shows where you have the most room to expand and the areas in which you will get the best out of life. Jupiter's position in your chart indicates how outgoing and genial you are, whether you attract money and possessions, and in what career you will have the most luck. Jupiter. Find out where Jupiter is in your chart, and you will understand where your fortune will come from. Now, Jupiter also signifies the good things that come to you easily and without effort. It is said that when Jupiter is working for you, you will never go under. However, unless you put Jupiter's gifts to use, Jupiter will take it right back. So if you've ever heard of people being able to sing or being able to draw or whatever those things may be, when they don't use it, the whole thing of that whole spirit of if you don't use it, you'll lose it. It's the same thing as with Jupiter as well. So Jupiter is a planet of blessings, and blessings we must learn how to use wisely. When Jupiter is prominent in your chart, you tend to be well liked and popular, friendly, broad-minded and cheerful, successful in career and business. You will probably discover that a large number of the people with whom you have immediate rapport with, they also have Jupiter in the same sign as your sun sign. So let's just say that I'm a Scorpio, right? So the people who I have an immediate rapport with, those people will probably have Jupiter in Scorpio. Does that make sense? Okay, gotcha. Now in the ninth house is a house of mental exploration, which makes sense because we have the Sagittarians who are the philosophers and explorers. And then we also have Jupiter, who is the planet of expansion where the sky is the limit. And it's basically about the whole, the knowledge that Jupiter imparts. So of course the ninth house is also going to be about mental exploration as well as long journeys. The natural sign, of course, is Sagittarius. It's ruled by Jupiter. It symbolizes long journeys of both the mind and the body. Now, in order to have some type of intellect, you have to study, and studying doesn't take like 2 minutes. It's something that you really kind of have to delve into in order to get your mental psyche to an intellectual or philosophical way of being. So that takes time. That takes a long journey. This is the house of mental exploration and long distance travel. The ninth house relates to the higher mind. Under its domain are higher education, philosophy, and the study in depth of profound subjects. The ninth house rules your public expression of ideas and therefore the house of publishing and literary efforts. Under this house, ideas and philosophies are put into writing so that worldwide audiences have access to ideas from other countries and cultures. Again, that whole mental exploration and long journeys. This is how information travels within this house. And of course through publishing and writing and things of that nature. Let's see, under this house, ideas and philosophies are put into writing so that worldwide audiences have access to ideas from other countries and cultures. Because of the spread of ideas resulting in contact with other cultures, this house rules long distance and foreign travel. When we are exposed to other people's thoughts and beliefs, the ninth house is a house of collective mind. In this house we find those who have the gift of prophecy. These people have the ability to tap into worldwide trends before the world becomes aware of the shifting mental patterns. Now, when I was reading and studying up on this, what came or who came to mind to me was Gary Vee. I don't know if a lot of you know who Gary Vee is, but he does a lot of kind of going into what I would say the future to talk about what technology, different social media sites. He talks about emotional intelligence and things of that nature, kind of like before it starts really happening. And so it made me think about him. And I wondered what was sitting in his ninth house. Now, the ninth house is about finding meaning in life. Naturally occupied by Sagittarius, which is ruled by mutable Jupiter, is flexible and wide-ranging with planetary, wide-ranging with planetary strength in this house. We will be drawn away from our familiar neighborhood. This is the house where we travel again. So it's going to be where we are drawn away from our familiar neighborhood or comfort zone, only to return once we have gained knowledge that will serve ourselves and others. So that's like when we go away to school, to college, it's kind of, the ninth house kind of represents that type of energy where we go away from our familiar situations or households and things of that nature, and we go away, we get that education, then we come back to wherever it is that we were born or raised, and we use that information to help other people. It's kind of the same concept. Now, again, this house offers insight into life journeys, whether physical, educational, or metaphysical. Metaphysical journeys relate to our quest for higher knowledge, our spirituality, or philosophy of life. The ninth house can suggest whether we might be drawn to the priesthood or similar positions as a spiritual teacher or guide. So normally, the mental explorations and long journeys, that information that we obtain, it usually turns into those particular ideas and belief, usually turns into religion, to be honest with you. So that's where that comes from, where we're talking about the ninth house can suggest whether we might be drawn to the priesthood. So again, this is, we talked about Sagittarius, we've talked about the planet Jupiter, and the 9th house. Now, thank you guys for always watching my videos. I truly appreciate it. Love you guys so much. If you have any questions about anything, please put them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer. If by some chance someone else gets to it before me and it is correct, it is the right way to go, then we go with whatever it is that they've said. If not, I'll kind of add in my own little comments within there. But you guys, please make sure that you like the videos, that you share them. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell on the left little side there. Make sure you hit that bell so that you're notified every time that a new video is published. Again, I appreciate you guys the most. And another thing really quickly that I want to talk about is the app Astro Matrix. It is so in-depth. There's so much information. And it's going to break down your birth chart in such a way that you will be happy that I told you about this app. Get the app. It's called Astro Matrix. It is a wonderful, in-depth app. It's going to take you a minute to kind of go through everything, but I'm telling you, if you just take things one at a time, you're going to find out who you are, what you do, why you do it, and what's the best ways. Now, this is the app that I have found that not only tells you all these things about yourself, but it also tells you how to work those things the best. It gives you insight as to how to utilize your own gifts. So I'm telling you, get this app, Astro Matrix. I also, in the comments as well, have some other sites that you guys can go to and get your natal chart as well. Thank you guys again. Peace.